position. You might like to just move into a child's pose, just to start off with. Bring your knees nice and wide and your buttocks down to your heels. Taking some nice deep breaths. Coming into space. So in today's yoga practice, we're going to be having a theme of gratitude, and we're going to have a nice yoga nidra. We all have what we need to be happy, and yoga teaches us that we can have all the inner resources that we need to cultivate gratefulness, contentment, and happiness, and we have it now. Through the practice of contentment and appreciation and gratitude, we're able to cultivate joy. Those that practice gratitude tend to be more hopeful and physically healthier. They have improved sleep, better relationships, and it fosters a better outlook. So let's take a moment to think about what we are grateful for in our lives, maybe one or two things. As you settle into your space. And as we go through our yoga practice today, take the feeling of gratitude with you and be grateful for what you have and for having the time and the space to practice your yoga. Coming up to a comfortable seated position. Softening your eyes, we're going to come into our space and begin with an Om. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. So we're going to bring our hands to Anjali Mudra. Take a deep breath. And then exhale all that doesn't serve us. Taking another deep breath. Om. Thank you for being here today, being here for yourself and for each other. Let's take our position on all fours, and we'll begin with a few cat-cows. As you inhale, raising your gaze and raising your chest, having a nice bend in your spine, and exhale, lifting your spine up towards the ceiling and gazing through your knees towards your feet. Just continue on with a few more rounds. Just gradually warming up your spine, getting some movement into your body. And then coming back onto your heels or wherever is comfortable for you to be seated, maybe on your buttocks. And we're going to take our body from side to side. Inhale as we bring our arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale as we go to the side. Just give me a nice stretch. Just warming up the side of our body. A little bit of shoulders. And then from here, we'll go back onto all fours and we'll move between an upward dog and a child's pose. So bring your hands slightly forward, taking your chest forward and lifting your gaze, having your legs, your knees wide, and exhaling into child's pose. Bringing your forehead down towards the mat as you surrender into the position. And then inhaling, coming back up again. Just getting a little bit more movement into your spine. And exhale back into child's pose. Continue on for another 4 rounds. Just focusing on your breath and letting your breath initiate the movement. And then coming back to all fours. And we're going to take the movement just a little step further. This time we're going to go from an upward dog to a downward dog. So as we inhale, take our body forward, raising our gaze, feeling the stretch through the front of the body, tucking your toes under, spreading your hands and drawing your hips up towards the ceiling. This is our first downward dog. So let's just stay here for a moment, stretching out the back of our legs, walking our heels down towards the mat. And then as we take our next inhalation, bring the body forward into an upward dog and exhaling into downward dog. Let's do 3 more rounds at your own pace, using your breath to initiate your movements. And then coming back to all fours. Taking your knees a little wider so they're underneath your hips and spreading your fingers out. We're going to do some alternate leg and arm raises. So we'll start with our left leg and our right hand. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift and lengthen through that left leg and the right hand. Have the foot, toes pointing down towards the mat. And then exhale, bring your knee and elbow together into a tiger curl. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Let's do 3 more rounds on this side. Keeping your body nice and steady. And last round. And from here, just keeping your foot and hand outstretched, bending the left knee and sweeping your right hand around to the foot, and then lift up, stretching through the back, the thigh, and also through the chest, and then release. Let it go down back to the mat, and we'll take it to the other side. So taking a couple of breaths before we start, just to even out your breath. And then let's inhale, and we lift and lengthen left hand, right leg. So really lengthening out through the foot and the hand, putting the toes down towards the mat. Exhale, bringing your knee and elbow together into tiger curl. And inhale, lift and lengthen, keeping your body nice and balanced. Let's go 2 more rounds. Really squeezing through the buttocks as you lengthen through the hand and the foot. And holding here for a moment, bending the right knee and bringing the foot towards the left side, and then sweeping your left hand back to graft onto the right foot, and then lift and lengthen, stretching through the right quad and through the chest, and then release. And from here, we're going to open up through our hands and bring our forearms down onto the mat, and we're going to lift up through the hips into a dolphin pose. So taking your hips up. So it's a little bit like a downward dog, except you're down on your forearms. You got a little bit more bend in your back, a little bit more stretch through the shoulders. Staying here for 3 breaths. And then releasing the knees down to the mat, coming back up onto your hands And from here, we're going to go into a half pigeon. So we're going to take our left knee forward and take the left foot towards the right side of the mat. Take our chest up nice and tall and sliding the right leg back. So we're coming into a nice stretch for the left glute. And from here, you can stay here if you wish, or if you want to take a deeper stretch, come down onto your forearms. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. And on each exhalation, just relaxing a little more into the stretch. And next inhalation, coming back up onto your hands and sliding that left knee back. And then we can take it to the other side. So we're going to take our right knee forward and our right foot across to the right side of the mat. Take your chest up nice and tall and then slide the left leg back a little till you feel a stretch through your right glute. And from here you can stay in this position or you can drop down a little further so you get a nice deep stretch through the right glute. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths, and on each exhalation just surrendering a little more into the stretch. We're releasing through the glute. That will help with any stiffness you might have in the lower back. Let's take one more breath. And then coming back up onto your hands, slide the right knee back and the left knee forward. And from here, we're going to go up into a sun salute. So we're going to come up onto our feet towards the front of the mat. We'll do 4 rounds today. So you're all familiar with this one, so you can go at your own pace or you can come with me. So at the front of our mat, we're going to inhale. We're going to lift our arms up, lengthen through our body, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward. Then we're going to lift and lengthen through our spine. Feel the stretch through the back of the legs, and then stepping back into high plank. Or you can take your knees down to the mat for a low plank. And then we slowly lower our body down to the mat by bending our elbows. Inhale, lift up through the chest into upward dog. And then exhale, tucking our toes under and coming into downward dog. Good. And then we're going to take our gaze towards our hands and step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen our spine, and in the exhale, take our chest to our legs. Squeeze that through, feel a nice stretch through the legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Back to Anjali Mudra. Nice. So that's 1 round. We'll go 3 more rounds. So you can come with me or your own pace. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, stepping back to a high plank. And then slowly lower the body down to the mat. Inhale, lift into an upward dog. And exhale, rolling over the toes into downward dog. Take the gaze forward and then step forward into a forward bend. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hugging your chest to your legs. And inhale, come all the way back up. Nice. Feel free to rest at any stage. It is a bit warmer today. Let's go. Next one, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the chest. And exhale, stepping back into your high plank. And then slowly lowering your body down to the mat. Inhale, lift through the chest into an upward dog. And exhale, rolling over your toes into a downward dog. Take your gaze forward and step forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bring your chest towards your legs. And then inhale all the way back up. Nice work, everyone. We've got one more round to go. So inhale, lift and lengthen. Take your gaze up towards the sky. Stretch through the front of the body. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest, stretching through the back of the legs, and then stepping back into high plank. Then slowly lowering your body to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, coming up into an upward dog. And exhale, rolling over your toes into a downward dog. Lifting your hips. Taking your gaze forward to your hands and then stepping forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. And exhale, drawing your chest to your legs. Inhale, come all the way back up. And back to Anjali Mudra. Nice. So let's step towards the back of our mat, just taking a couple of breaths. And just coming back to our theme of gratitude again. And feeling grateful and thinking about what you're grateful for in your practice. And we'll take ourselves into a warrior sequence. So we're going to have our left foot slightly turned out and step forward with our right foot. Starting off into warrior one. So nice and square through the hips and shoulders. Inhale, lift your arms, bending your right knee. Just really stretching all the way up. Notice the stretch through the left hip. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And then take your right hand forward, left hand back, opening up through the chest, having your right knee bent over the top of your right ankle. Taking a couple of breaths here and notice how you need to be strong through your legs to hold this one. And then taking the right hand back behind you, keeping the front knee bent, bringing your hands clasped behind you, and then taking your body forward into humble warrior, lifting your hands. That's it. So this one's stretching through the shoulders and also through the right glute. Take a couple more breaths here, notice the stretch. And then releasing your hands down to the mat. And we're going to lift our left hand up towards the ceiling and lengthen out through our right leg into triangle pose. Taking our gaze with us up towards that left hand. And noticing the stretch through the hamstring on the right leg. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Really opening up through the chest. And then release that hand back down to the ground. And then we go into a twisted triangle. So we're going to take our right hand up towards the ceiling and take our gaze with it. And notice the stretch through the glute on the right side of your leg. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then bringing that right hand down to frame the right foot. And from here, we're going to inhale and lift our body all the way back up and hands back to Anjali Mudra. And then bringing your feet back together, give them a little shake. And we'll go to the other side. So this time turning your right foot out slightly, stepping forward with your left leg, having your hips and chest nice and square. We're going to inhale, lift our arms, take our gaze up towards the ceiling and bending the left knee. Just taking a couple of breaths here to feel that stretch through the hip on the right side. Really stretching through the front of the body. And then taking the left hand forward, right hand back into warrior two. And really stretching through the front of the chest. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then taking the left hand back behind you, keeping the left knee bent. Take your body forward, clasping your hands behind your back into humble warrior. Taking a couple of breaths here, lifting the hands up, feeling the stretch through the chest. And then releasing your hands to the inside of the left foot. We're going to take our right hand up towards the ceiling and lengthen out through the left leg, straightening out through that left leg. Take your gaze up to your right hand into triangle. Staying here for a couple of breaths and notice the stretch through the hamstring on the left side. And then release the right hand to the mat and then go into twisted triangle, taking your left hand up Taking your gaze with the left hand, staying here for a couple of breaths, and just notice that stretch through the glute on the left side. And then release that hand to frame the front left foot. Inhale, lift your body up, coming back to Anjali Mudra. And then bring your legs together, give them a little shake. We've had a fair bit of stretching. Okay, from here we're going to do a balanced pose. So let's do a variation of the tree pose that will help us with our balance, but also give us some stretching through the glutes. So we're going to open up through the right foot, open up through the toes, and bring our left knee across and our foot up. Bring that foot up towards your right hip. Getting yourself nice and settled. Find a drishti point or a point that you can gaze at that will help you with your balance. Or if you need to, you can go close to a wall or table, whatever you have there. And from here, I want you to bend the right knee a little bit. So you start to feel a little bit of stretch through the glute and the ITB on the left side. And you can stay here with your hands, or you can bring your hands up to Anjali Mudra. And we're going to stay here for 4 breaths. Noticing the stretch and just maintaining your balance. Coming back to your gratitude theme. Got 2 more breaths here. And then lengthening out through the right leg and bring the left foot back down to the ground. Give both legs a little shake, and then we'll take it to the other side. So opening up through the left toes and getting a nice ground through the left foot, and bringing your, bending your right knee and bringing your right foot up towards your hip on the left side. So you can leave your hand here if you want. Find your drishti point, or you can bring your hands up to Anjali Mudra. You might find you're better on one side than the other. A slight bend in that left knee. And then we're going to stay here for 4 breaths, feeling that stretch through the right glute and the right ITB. Two more breaths here. Nice. Good work, everyone. And then just give that a little shake. Okay, from here, we're going to come down to the mat. And we're going to have sit on our buttocks with our legs out in front into Paschimottanasana. Okay, just noticing the ground beneath your buttocks and beneath your legs. We're going to inhale, lift our arms up, and we're going to go into a forward fold. So bringing our hands all the way forward, gazing towards our toes. So you may be able to hold on to your toes here, or it might be your ankles or your shins, whatever's comfortable for you. Taking 5 breaths here, and on each exhalation, allow your body to surrender a little more into the stretch, noticing the stretch through your hamstrings, your lower back. One more breath. And then release your hands, coming back up to sitting, lengthening through the spine. From here, we're going to go into a little twist. So we're going to take our left leg, bend the knee, and bring the foot to the outside of the right leg. Come up onto your sit bones. Then we're going to put our right hand on our left knee and our left hand behind us. And as we twist, we're going to take our gaze over our left shoulder, and we're going to exhale into the twist. And then each exhalation, just twist into it a little more. We'll take 5 breaths here. And one more breath. And then releasing your body, bring your leg back down to the ground. Just give your legs a little shake, and then we'll take it to the other side. So bending our right knee, taking our right foot to the outside of the left knee, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. And as you twist into it, take your gaze over your right shoulder and exhale into the twist. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. And each time you exhale, just take your body a little more into the twist. Notice how that feels down the outside of the right leg. Notice the shoulders, notice the right glute. And then release that leg back down to the ground. And coming back onto your back and hugging your knees up to your chest. And we'll rinse out the twist that we've been doing, rolling your knees in a circular direction, just massaging through your lumbar spine, and then take it in the other direction. And then from here, we're going to place our feet on the ground, arms straight out from our shoulders. And we're going to do another twist. So we're going to take our knees to the right side and look to the left. Noticing the stretch right down the left side of the body, keeping your back nice and flat, and noticing a stretch through your chest. Taking 5 breaths here. And again, each exhalation, allow your body to surrender a little more into the stretch. Last breath here. And then inhale, bring your knees to center. And exhale, take your knees to the left and take your gaze to the right. Noticing the stretch right down the right side of your body. You're going to stay here for 5 breaths. And as you exhale each time, relaxing a little more into the stretch. One more breath here. And then inhale, bring your knees to center. And then from here, we're going to lift up into a bridge pose. So we've got our buttocks and our heels as close as we can together. We're going to inhale, lift up our hips and really squeeze through the buttocks. And you can leave your hands face down on the mat, or you can bring them underneath you into a clasp position and draw your shoulders together and lift up as high as you can and really feel that stretch through the front of your body and through your shoulders. And I'm going to stay here for 5 breaths. And last breath. And then slowly lowering your spine down to the mat. Let your hands be released. And then hug your knees up to your chest. And then from here, we're going to roll onto our tummy. From here, we're going to place our hands underneath our shoulders. We're going to inhale, lift up through the chest, and notice the stretch right through the front of the body. Just taking a couple of breaths here, and then exhale, bring your body back down, placing your hands underneath your hips. And from here, we're going to inhale, and we're going to lift our feet off the mat, squeezing our buttocks, staying here for 3 breaths. And then release that one down. And then taking your hands out from under your hips so that they're by your sides but lifted up off the mat. We're going to inhale, lift up through the chest and lift the gaze and lift the hands up. This one's snake pose. Taking a couple of breaths here and then release down. And from here, we're going to bend our knees and just roll our feet from one side to the other, releasing through the lower back. And then we're going to bend our left foot, left knee, and reach back with your left hand. And we're going to inhale and lift up and stretching through the left side. Take a breath or two here and then release that. And then bending the right knee, taking the right hand back around the right foot. Inhale, lift up and stretching through the right thigh and also the chest. A couple of breaths here. And then release, but hold on to the foot and then reach back to the left side. So you're holding on to both feet now into a boat pose. And from here, we're going to inhale and lift up our chest, squeeze our buttocks and pull our feet away from our hands into a full stretch, into a full boat pose. That's it. Nice work, everyone. Taking one more breath here. Really stretch it and then release. From here, coming back up onto all fours into child's pose. And walk your hands forward, bring your forehead down to the mat. Just give your lower back a nice release. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then coming up into downward dog. And really stretching through the back of the legs, opening up through your hands. Hips up towards the ceiling, pushing your heels down towards the mat, really stretching the hamstrings, bringing your head through your hands, through your arms, feeling a stretch through your shoulders. Take 3 more breaths here. And coming back to your thoughts around our theme of gratitude. From here, coming back down to the mat. And we're going to move our hands. So we're doing a few cat and cows, but we're going to release our wrists a little bit as well. So our fingertips are facing forward at the moment. Bring them so that they both face out. That's it. And we'll do a couple of cat cows. And notice a nice movement through your spine, but also some stretch through your wrists. And then take your wrists. You might be able to have the fingertips facing back towards your body. Just whatever's comfortable for you. And a couple more cat cows. Just notice how that's stretching through the tendons in your hands. And then taking them back, pointing out again. A couple more cat cows. And then facing forward again. And just moving your body in a circular direction. Just giving that whole arm and wrists a nice stretch. And then coming back onto your heels and just giving your hands a nice stretch. And from here, taking your left arm across your body and right hand underneath and coming into basically you're hugging yourself. So you're holding on to both shoulder blades, giving your scapulars a nice stretch, particularly on the left side. That's it. And if it's uncomfortable for you to sit on your heels, you can come into standing on your knees, whatever's comfortable for you. And then release that. And then bring your right hand across your body, left hand underneath, and give your shoulders a nice stretch. So this one's stretching through the right scapula, hugging onto both shoulders, bringing your hands to the shoulder. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and then release. Just giving a couple of circles there. And then some big arms. And from here, we're going to go onto our back and take our legs up into our inversion. So you may like to go to legs up the wall or legs up the bed or whatever you have there. or you can come into a half shoulder stand or a supported shoulder stand where you put a support underneath your lower back, whatever is most comfortable for you. So as you inhale, bringing your legs up. And from here, giving your ankles some little circles, similar to what we do with our hands. Nice light legs. Taking your feet out nice and wide. Just taking some nice breaths here, enjoying the inversion. And then bringing the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. If you're in a shoulder stand, you might like to take your feet over your head. If you have your legs up the wall, you might like to take your feet out wide again. Staying here for another 3 breaths. And then slowly releasing your body down and coming into Savasana. Coming into a nice, comfortable position, laying on your back. You may like to have a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back. You may have an eye pillow. You might like to put a rug or a cardigan over you just to keep you nice and warm, keep in all the warmth that you've generated through your yoga asana. And we're going to come into our yoga nidra. So making yourself very comfortable. Take 3 deep relaxing breaths, relaxing the body. Be aware of the sounds in the distance, moving your awareness from sound to sound without attempting to identify the source of the sound. Be aware of your physical body lying in Savasana. Be aware of your alignment, your chin lower than your forehead, your spine aligned, arms close to the body, fingers away from the floor, as comfortable as possible. Become aware of your natural breath, keeping it completely spontaneous. Repeat your intention 3 times. Rotating your consciousness around your body, your right hand thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check your awareness that you're still awake and rotate your consciousness to the left side of your body. Left hand thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check your awareness that you're still awake. Move your attention to the back of your body, your heels, back of your legs, buttocks, back, shoulder, arms, hands, whole spine, neck, back, head, crown of your head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow center, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, lips, chin, throat, chest, 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 abdomen, 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 pelvis, pelvis, pelvis. Become aware of your breath, counting back from 17 to 0. Checking your awareness that you're still awake. Awakening the feeling of warmth within your body. Your whole body is warm. Your arms are warm. Your legs are warm. Your whole body is warm. Now awakening the feeling of coolness in your body. Imagine your whole body is cool. Your arms are cool. Your legs are cool. Bring your awareness to the front of your closed eyes and imagine the following objects as they are named. A beautiful garden, a sunset, lighting a candle, a beautiful sunrise, purple jacaranda, the fragrance of the jasmine, new palm fronds, the smell of the rain, a clear blue sky, a rainbow, the sound of the ocean, an eagle, a turtle, a red rose. Now is the time in your practice to repeat your intention 3 times. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel your body resting in Savasana, aware of the room that you're in and your surrounds, the floor beneath you, the walls, the ceiling, the windows, the sounds inside the room, the sounds outside the room. Recall the time of day and know that the practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to an end. I will chime the singing bowl once. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Taking a few more deep breaths and stretching out your arms and your legs. Gently rolling to one side. And coming up to a comfortable seated position if you wish. Noticing your body and how it's feeling and the feeling of gratitude. I have a couple of affirmations that might be useful to acknowledge your contentment and your gratitude. You can say these affirmations anytime. I'm content and happy. I'm enough. I appreciate and am grateful for my life as it is. I accept the joys and the challenges and learn from these. Thank you for being here today and for your practice and your beautiful energy. Let's come together and close our practice off with an Om. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. Taking a deep breath in and then releasing all that you don't need. Another deep breath in. Om. Bring your hands to your forehead for kind thoughts and to your lips for kind words and to your heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Nice.
Thank you, darling Jenny. That was fantastic.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How did it go outside?